The Florentine painter Giotto, the famous artist of the Proto-Renaissance, made enormous advances in the technique of representing the human body realistically. His frescoes were said to have decorated cathedrals at Assisi, Rome, Padua, Florence, and Naples, though there has been difficulty attributing such works with certainty. Giotto's famous artwork. The Scrovegni Chapel fresco paintings are Giotto's greatest masterpiece of religious art, and mark a decisive turning point in pre-Renaissance painting of the 14th century. In simple terms, he abandoned the rules and conventions of the flat hieratic style of Byzantine art, in favor of a greater naturalism in both his figures and stories. As a result, Giotto is not only viewed as the most important painter of Proto-Renaissance art, but also the greatest single influence on painters of the early Renaissance, such as Masaccio, Piero da Francesca, and Francis Angelico. The fresco cycle in the Scrovegni Chapel was greatly admired even by Duccio di Buoninsegna, the leading artist of the more traditionalist Sienese school of painting, and ranks alongside the Sistine Chapel frescoes, as one of the most influential works of Christian art of the Renaissance era. The Scrovegni Chapel murals consist of 39 sequential scenes, pictorializing the life of the Virgin Mary and the life of Christ. The overall iconographic theme is Christian redemption, probably because the chapel was intended to expiate the sins accumulated by the Scrovegni family, as a result of their money-lending activities. In addition, the wall around the chapel's entrance is decorated with the Last Judgment. In the later 14th century, the Proto-Renaissance was stifled by plague and war. Its influences did not emerge again until the first years of the next century. In 1401, the sculptor Lorenzo Ghiberti won a major competition to design a new set of bronze doors for the baptistry of the Cathedral of Florence, beating out contemporaries such as the architect Filippo Brunelleschi and the young Donatello, who would later emerge as the master of early Renaissance sculpture. Gates of Paradise, Italian Porta del Paradiso, the pair of gilded bronze doors designed by the sculptor Lorenzo Ghiberti for the north entrance of the baptistry of San Giovanni in Florence. Upon their completion, they were installed at the east entrance. Each wing of the Gates of Paradise contains 5 large rectangular reliefs of scenes from the Old Testament between figurated borders containing statuettes in niches and medallions with busts. Their format differs completely from the traditional medieval quatrefoils of the other doors. High Renaissance art, 1490 to 1527. By the end of 15th century, Rome had displaced Florence as the principal center of Renaissance art, reaching a high point under the powerful and ambitious Pope Leo X, a son of Lorenzo de' Medici. 3 great masters, Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo and Raphael, dominated the period known as the High Renaissance, which lasted roughly from the early 1490s until the sack of Rome by the troops of the Holy Roman Emperor Charles V of Spain in 1527. Leonardo was the ultimate Renaissance man for the breadth of his intellect, interest, and talent and his expression of humanist and classical values. Leonardo's best-known works, including the Mona Lisa, the Virgin of the Rocks and the fresco The Last Supper, showcase his unparalleled ability to portray light and shadow, as well as the physical relationship between figures and the landscape around them. Michelangelo Buonarroti drew on the human body for inspiration and created works on a vast scale. He was the dominant sculptor of the High Renaissance, producing pieces such as Pietà in St. Peter's Cathedral and the David in his native Florence. He carved the latter by hand from an enormous marble block. Though Michelangelo considered himself a sculptor first and foremost, he achieved greatness as a painter as well, notably with his giant fresco covering the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, completed over 4 years and depicting various scenes from Genesis. Raffaello Sanzio da Urbino, known as Raphael, was an Italian painter and architect of the High Renaissance. His work is admired for its clarity of form, ease of composition, and visual achievement of the Neoplatonic idea.